tried to breathe normally and return to the presentation. My friends in the presentation audience were ecstatic as I silently nodded to let them know that SB 826 passed. I was still shaking with emotion. Wait a minute, though. The battle was far from over. The following week, SB 826 was submitted to the California State Assembly, which has 80 members, twice as many as the Senate. This was going to be even harder. Our Legion of California Women Business Owners, members of the National Association of Women's Business Owners California, NAWBO-CA, then had to start again to visit district offices of Assembly members and book meetings in Sacramento to convince them that SB 826 would be extremely important to business and to the state's economy. Over the summer of 2018, we had to testify again to 3 more Assembly committee hearings. The sessions were brutal, but we survived, and SB 826 passed all 3 committees. The Assembly floor vote came on August 30th. Once again, we were glued to C-SPAN on our computers and our smartphones back in our offices throughout the state, all watching the vote countdown. This time, Senator Jackson was not confident we had the votes. Our statewide board members from NAWBO-CA, which sponsored the bill, had canvassed district offices of Assembly members over the summer to gain their support, and countless friends and business leaders sent letters of support to the committees that had to pass our bill before it went to the floor. The committees in the Assembly had the same titles as those that passed our bill before the Senate vote: Banking, Judiciary, and Appropriations. Each committee required a separate campaign of support letters and phone calls. Our lobbyist, Lori Kammerer, was running from office to office in the Capitol to tally votes in advance. Again, pins and needles. Surprisingly, the Assembly voting process was stopped about halfway through. All of us watching on TV thought, oh no, it's not going to pass. Apparently, the senator and her staff determined that we were not getting the aye votes from some of the key Assembly members who had assured us of their approval. So a recess suspended the vote temporarily to allow supporters to run back to those members and once again urge their yes votes, citing the research and all the business reasons why the state's economy would benefit from this historic law. About 20 minutes later, the recess ended and the vote was continued. We won. Once again, the tally was only 2 votes over majority, but that's all it took to win. Another round of tears and jubilation burst forth in the offices of women business owners and supporters around the state. The emotion was high. I've never in my life felt the sheer exultation I felt at that moment. That was August 30th, 2018, a date I will always cherish. It was a moment we thought would never come, and yet it did. Next, after these huge hurdles, we had to secure one final approval, Governor Jerry Brown's signature. He could veto SB 826, sign it into law, or just ignore it, which would have been almost as fatal as a veto. He had the whole month of September to sign or veto all of the bills that had been passed during the year. These were his last signatures as governor. He would be termed out of office on December 31st, 2018. So the final legacy of the only California governor to have served 4 terms, whose storied father, Pat Brown, had been governor decades earlier, would be his signature on the last few bills for the year, and SB 826 was one of them. We hoped he would sign SB 826 because we wanted him to make history as the first governor in the nation to sign a law ensuring that at least one woman director would be on the board of every public company headquartered in the state. The new law would mean about 180 board seats added for women by year-end 2019 and approximately 1,060 seats by year-end 2021. To ensure compliance, the bill included fines of $100,000 for the first year and up to $300,000 by year-end 2021.